have 3 more days.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we are live on YouTube and ready to go.
Okay, awesome. Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting of the Liquor Commission for the City of Bloomington to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jordan,
And the time is 4 p.m. on Tuesday, June 8th.
Here.
Commissioner Meister,
Here.
Commissioner Milwambwe.
Here. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment?
We do not. Nobody registered to speak live or submitted email public comments.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're going to go ahead and move to item number 4, which is the consent agenda. Consideration and action to approve minutes from May 11th, 2021, as well as May 21, 2021. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Meister. Is there
I
a
second.
second by Commissioner Jordan? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner Meister,
Yes.
Commissioner Milwambwe.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing and action on the request from Bloomington Noble Sunrise Rotary for a Class LB limited beer and wine liquor license for their annual fundraiser event that will be held on Jefferson Street between Main Street and Center Avenue, and on Main Street between Washington Street and Jefferson Street on August 6, 2021, as requested by the City Clerk Department. And I do understand that Commissioner Meister has to recuse herself, correct?
That's
Because
correct.
she's a member of the Rotary. Okay.
Might I suggest, Mayor, that we take the hearings on both 5A and 5B together? I think it's the same event, and I don't think we're going to be seeing different evidence in either, so we could get those done, although we may want to take motions on each item separately.
Sure. Okay. So let me first say that, in terms of the order of proceedings for the hearing, we will first have a brief opening statement and presentation by the applicant. And after that, we will hear testimony from those speaking in favor of the application. Following that, we will hear some staff input. And after that, we will take testimony and statements from those opposing the application and those that simply have questions about the application, which include the commissioners. If there are questions, they should be addressed to the commission rather than to the applicant directly. Then the applicant will have an opportunity to present rebuttal evidence or evidence that addresses the questions or concerns raised. After that, I will close the public hearing and the commission will deliberate and make a determination as to its recommendation. So I'm going to go ahead and declare the public hearing open. And do we have someone to speak on behalf of this application?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Kristen,
so,
could you- Thank you.
That's me, sorry.
okay. Kristen, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please swear in?
Please state your name for the record.
Kristen Kupch. Do I raise my hand?
Yes, please raise your right hand and repeat it. I apologize. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. And again, welcome. Would you please state the purpose of your application?
Yeah, and there was one thing on the agenda that was sent. I noticed in the B part, it said Tuesday, August 6th, but it's Friday, August 6th. I just wanted to clarify that. But Friday, August 6th, Bloomington Normal Sunrise Rotary will have our annual Brats and Bags fundraiser. So we'll do a brat lunch from 11 to 1. It's downtown Bloomington on the square right outside the History Museum. But we'll have a brat lunch from 11 to 1 with some entertainment, a band. And then at 5, we will do a bags tournament. And so the bags term is actually where the liquor license comes into play, but we will play bags in a tournament form, and then we will also have beer and wine available for purchase as well. Same spot is the lunch on that L shape in front of the museum.
Okay.
This is our 12th annual event. So the 12th year that we've done it. Proceeds from the event go to Midwest Food Bank and Camp Timber Point, as well as our Heartland Community College scholarships and other local Rotary initiatives that we do.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you very much. Anything else to add?
Nope.
No? Okay. Awesome. Then we're going to move on to questions from commissioners. Commissioner Jordan.
Yes, and maybe George can answer most of these. I didn't know, did you state the hours?
Yeah, so the liquor will be sold from 5 to 10. The actual event itself will be downtown from about 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. But the liquor portion will only be from about 5 to 10.
And how are you handling the identification about people who can and cannot?
Yep, so we will have Bassett trained Rotarians who will be checking IDs, and we'll be providing wristbands. And they will need a wristband to purchase the tickets for alcohol and then to get the alcohol.
I don't have any other question. Maybe George does.
I don't have any questions. However, I will note that legal has not had any issues with this this festival before, and it seems to be. I guess I do have one question. Kristen, do you foresee any changes in this festival over last year's that would be relevant to the license or the suspension ordinance?
You said over last year's event?
Over 2019. You see any changes from the 2019?
Oh, 2019. No, I was like last year. Yes, probably a big change
Right.
from last year because we didn't even serve alcohol last year. But
Right.
no, I don't foresee any changes from what we did in 2019. We've
Okay.
already done the special events permit with the downtown Bloomington, and
Right.
we've got the food permitted today. We're getting all that good to go.
I will state then that legal has no issues with this and has had no problems with the event in the past.
Do we have any other staff on the line, police maybe, that might have a comment or question?
Mr. Commissioner, Tim McCoy, Assistant Chief. The only thing that we request is that the section where alcohol is being served is cordoned off and one access point only.
Okay.
Okay.
With respect to legal, and this is how this has been done in the past, my understanding. Also for the festival area, when the license is, when the ordinance is suspended, it will be pertinent only to the festival area and to people drinking alcohol out of paper or plastic cups and with wristbands.
Okay.
And are those a problem for the applicant?
No.
So those would be conditions that we suggest be put on in the suspension ordinance.
Okay. Awesome. Now, do we have anybody, I'm assuming that there's nobody else to speak in favor of this application, correct?
No, we didn't have anyone register or submit public comment
Okay,
emailed.
okay, thank you. Now, do we have anybody who would like to speak against this application?
No, we do not.
We do not. Okay. Sounds good. I guess at this point, if there are no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing and give the commissioners an opportunity to discuss and vote on the motion.
Question was, George, did you say you wanted to combine the two as far as the motions go, or you want them separately?
Why don't we, if it's all right with the mayor, I'd suggest let's take them separately.
Okay, I got it.
Yep.
I'll make a motion. We approve the application as been submitted.
Okay, so motion by Commissioner Jordan, and I will second.
And that would be for the LB license, is that, and a positive recommendation to the city council?
Yes.
Okay,
So Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner
The obvious.
Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner Millwamboy.
Yes. Thank you. So the item passes, no nays to announce. So next item. Forgive me here, I have to manage all my multiple screens. So thank you, Kristen, first of all.
The next item would be
Yes, the next item is
5B.
still concerns you. Yes, that's right. I thought she was done, but no, you're not quite done.
It's okay.
So the next item is 5B, consideration and action on an ordinance suspending portions of Chapter 6 of the Bloomington City Code to allow possession of open alcohol on public property in specified portions of downtown Bloomington on Friday, August 6th.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Friday.
Okay, 2021 during Bloomington Normal Sunrise Rotary's annual Brats and Bags fundraising event as requested by the city clerk department. And I guess there's not much else to say. We're just suspending portions of Chapter 6. So maybe I should go ahead and ask for a motion.
before we do that, could we add the conditions that it be for persons in the festival area wearing wristbands, paper and plastic cups, and that the alcohol be purchased from the event vendor?
Okay. Can you speak a little louder, George? I'm having a little
Sure.
bit of problems here with my speakers.
Okay. I was suggesting that 3 conditions be added, that it be for persons with alcohol in paper or plastic cups, wearing wristbands, and with the alcohol purchased from the approved event vendor.
Now, is this different from what's been done before?
No, this is the same.
This is the same? Okay.
Can I ask a clarifying question on that?
Sure.
So we, one of our beer vendors, I think, was going to have cans. Do you want those cans poured in cups then, or can we have the cans? I'm assuming you don't want glass bottles, right? Or
Right,
Yeah,
no
I
gu-
think
no
the-
glass.
The question is something that would break, right? Is that the issue here?
Right, and generally we have asked that they be poured into the cups.
Okay, we can do that. I just wanted to clarify. This is
Yeah.
the first year we'd ever have cans. Usually it's all draft, so it's all plastic cups.
Right.
So we may have cans for the first time, so I'll make sure everyone knows to pour those in cups.
Great, thank you.
Okay. So can I get a motion then with the added conditions? Can you repeat those conditions, George?
Yes, the conditions being that alcohol will only be allowed in the festival area, that paper and it will pertain to alcohol and beer and wine in plastic and paper cups, and to those wearing wristbands, and that it will be alcohol purchased from the approved event vendor.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Commissioner Jordan?
Yes, I was just gonna, if you would, I'll entertain a motion, make a motion to approve this application as presented to the commission.
Okay, and I will go ahead and second. Any questions? Commissioner Jordan?
No, I have no questions.
Okay, thank you. So Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner Millwamboy.
Yes, so the item passes. There are no nays to announce. And now I believe, Kristen, you may log off if you'd like.
Thank you.
All right, take care. And have a good event. Okay, so moving on to item 5C, consideration and action on an ordinance suspending portions of Chapter 6 of Bloomington, the Bloomington City Code to allow possession of open alcohol on public property in specified portions of downtown Bloomington on Saturday, June 26, 2021, during the Mama Inc. doing business as the Bistro annual Pride Fest event as requested by the City Clerk Department. Are
We have-
there,
We have Jan Lancaster here to speak
Jan
on behalf
Lancaster's
of the
here?
event.
okay. Can you go ahead and swear her in then?
Can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Jen, and welcome.
This is so strange to not be together here, isn't it?
Yes, but hopefully this is gonna change very soon, so
Right.
looking forward to that. And we welcome back Commissioner Meister. So why don't we have you then speak on behalf of the application, and then we'll go ahead and decide on motions after.
Okay, this is our third year event. We did it originally for my 25th year anniversary. And then we did it the following year. And then with COVID, we were obviously shut down for a year. So this is coming back, and I don't think there's going to be any changes from the previous years. We closed down the 300 block and part of Monroe. Catherine obviously helped us with the setup as before, and we have a ton of volunteers. We keep volunteers on each of the corners. Everyone that is doing anything with the alcohol is Bassett trained. We use wristbands, plastic cups. There will be entertainment out on the street. The event will start at 4 and will end outside at 10, so that we will have time to clean up before 11. And then we move inside for a show inside.
Okay. Awesome. I guess there was one question about the amount of time that you're going to sell alcohol. When would you be starting?
We would be starting at 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. And we would end on the street. We would probably do last call, I would say, by 9:30, so that we could finish and get people cleared out so that we can get the street back opened up. I think they'd like us to, last year, well, the year before, working with the city, I think we were done by about 10:30. They'd like us to be done and the street back open by 11.
Awesome. Are there other questions from other commissioners?
Unless, George, do you, you've had this before. I remembered, I didn't know if there was any problems that you incurred or not.
I'm not aware legal of any problems. Jen, are you asking for beer and wine only or all spirits?
Well, I think the first year we had beer and wine only, but then the second year we were able to do spirits at the same time. So I'm requesting a full liquor license, but whatever you guys want us to do, then that's fine. I do want to mention that all the city police that came through, they said that was one of the best run events that they've ever had. So I think we handle it pretty well there.
Yeah, I don't have any further questions from my end. She addressed most of all the questions. They're going to be Bassett trained. The only thing it looks like, Jan, on the application, it does have you starting alcohol service at noon.
Oh, yeah, that's what we had to do. Obviously, farmer's market ends at noon. And we are starting this setup at noon, but we really won't start serving until 4. We have to bring in the stage and clear out that block from the leftover farmer's market folks. And So we will not be starting serving alcohol probably till 4, but we put noon because that's when we had to have the street blocked off, so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see any further problems. I think it's a great event, Jan. So
Thank you.
Roger,
It
have
is a great event.
Mhm.
I guess the question I got, Jan, is George, should this be stipulated as to the starting time on the serving of the alcohol?
Well, the way we do it is that when we pass the suspension ordinance, it's effective only for the hours that the alcohol is to be served. So in this case, it would be from 4 to 10, and we'd specify that in the ordinance that
Okay.
suspends.
Yeah, fair enough. That's good.
Thank you.
Okay. And I also don't have any issues with you serving spirits. I mean, I think if the event has been run well in the past and we don't seem to have any issues, mentioned by others, staff, so I think it's fine. So looking forward
Thank
to
you.
it. Okay. Okay, so I guess at this point, George, do you have anything else that you'd like
I have
to add?
nothing
Or
further.
okay. Do we still have Assistant Chief McCoy on the line?
Yes, sir. Nothing further.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So I guess at this point, I'd entertain a motion.
a motion to approve.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll
Motion
se-
by Commissioner Meister.
Might I
Oh.
suggest with this motion too, we're talking about the same conditions, paper, plastic, event area,
Yes.
wristbands. Okay.
And I will second the motion.
Okay, second by Commissioner Jordan. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner Meister,
Yes.
Commissioner Millewamboy.
Yes.
Thank
The
you.
item passes. There are no nays to announce. Next item on the agenda is item 5D, sanctions review hearing on violation number 2021-003 issued to Hurley Consolidated Enterprises, doing business as Drifters, located at 612 North Main Street, as requested by the legal department. And I guess I'm going to turn it over to you, George.
Thank you, Mayor. This involves a complaint and citation issued against the establishment for violation of Chapter 6, Section 37E12 of the Bloomington City Code, which involved non-payment of taxes. In February, the managing owner of the LLC admitted to the allegations in the complaint that taxes had not been paid as alleged in that complaint. In April, an order was entered that essentially provided for sanctions in 3 parts. By April 30th, a $2,500 fine was to be paid. A license renewal fee in the amount of $2,950 was to be paid, and a late penalty on the license renewal fee of $295 was also to be paid. That was done. The second portion of the sanctions involved payment of all back taxes owed, which is in the amount of roughly $1,900. That has not been done. And it is, that was to be done by May 31st. I will say I have been contacted by some persons interested, and one of them may be available here to speak, but that may be interested in helping us arrange a settlement that will involve payment of all taxes and fines that remain in this matter. Mr. Marvel may be on the line.
I am.
Yes.
Would you like to address that?
Should we
Rich,
swear him
or-
in first?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear firm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
And I know on this call as well is Taya Minifield and John Follick, who are the owners of Hurley Consolidated Enterprises at the time the agreement was completed. For the purposes of this meeting, we were advised, and Taya and John are on the phone as well, so they can comment to any of this, but there was some conversations that I had with Taya and John, the current owners or the former owners of Hurley Consolidated Enterprises LLC, regarding their failure to make these payments, which they advised me that they have not been able to make the payments. And certainly I think that their friction that they've had in this business has been very difficult based upon COVID. So there's not one thing I think that they may or may not have been able to do in order to succeed in light of what they were faced with. But that being said, because of the sale agreements that they had with the original owner of Hurley Consolidated Enterprises, which was Nick Hurley, there are ongoing significant obligations that Mr. Hurley has relative to the business operations of Hurley Consolidated Enterprises LLC. So there were certain guarantees made to a variety of people. With those guarantees became security interest, and there was security agreements entered that would secure Mr. Hurley in the event something like this happened. And I believe Taya and John would freely admit at this point that they are no longer capable to want to do this business, or to have a desire to do it from afar, from where I believe that they are at this point. So there's a proposal that was made to Taya and John, the owners, about assignments and transferring of ownership, which they've agreed, which would go back to Nick Hurley as a sole owner of Hurley Consolidated Enterprises LLC. And Mr. Hurley would then immediately pay all outstanding fines and penalties. We propose to pay those prior to the hearing today. I think the commissioner had a few questions regarding some due diligence items and wanted to have some clarity regarding the particular transaction that we're talking about. I've provided the transaction documents to Mr. Boyle for the mayor and the commissioner's review. So at this point, what we would request is, one, I've got a pending request to allow a change of ownership that was made in writing to the mayor, to the commissioner, that had requested waivers of notice, requested waiver of applying for a new liquor license, and requested waiver of, well, those are the two. If we can have some assurance that we can allow the change of ownership, then I can write a check, or Mr. Hurley is writing a check immediately. We would likely have had him paid already today if we could have had this approved. But at this point, it would be Mr. Hurley's intent to bring the business back, likely in August, when the students, come back. He would start back in early August with the Drifters business that he ran for well over a decade with no incidents. He was a very hands-on, successful manager. And he also has had another liquor license through another entity that he has in Bloomington, and he's been operating that for 7 or 8 years now, which is the Spotted Dog. So it would be his intent to come back and restore the bar operations in the downtown location where it presently is located. And George, I apologize. I've been in trial all afternoon, so I didn't have an opportunity to call you before the hearing this afternoon.
I understand.
Okay. So George, any, you have
Yes.
anything to add to?
Yeah, and Mayor, you can correct me if I'm misspeaking or if you have a different take on this. First of all, I will state that Mr. Hurley, during the time he owned Drifters, which was about 10 years, the city didn't have any issues with him in terms of enforcements or violations or things like that. Similarly, with the Spotted Dog, his current license, we have had one violation. That was a violation of the COVID restrictions, which was settled for a fine, but that's been the only violation in some 17 years that Mr. Hurley's had a license. Now, having said that, it is we were not able to put this on the agenda for today as we just were advised of the transaction which has been made pending approval by the commissioner. I think that my understanding from speaking with you, Mayor, is that you would choose to have, because this is a transfer of 100% of the ownership, albeit to a known owner, that you would want to have this done through an application, that it be set at either the July meeting or perhaps at a special meeting to be held prior to the July meeting. It looks like if it's going to be opened by August in time for the students, we may be able to put it on the regular July agenda. Staff would assist in expediting the application process. In other words, if we have duplicates or if we're able to make it a bit easier on the applicant in terms of paperwork, since he currently has a license, we'd be willing to see if we could assist with that. Having said that, there are a couple things that we would be looking for, and we can assist. I can work with Mr. Marvel towards that. So that's where we're at with that in terms of the city wanting an application and wanting payment. And then, of course, being willing to look at this as an application that we would have a hearing on, and then based on the evidence at that hearing, make a recommendation either for approval or denial to the city council.
That's good. Are there any questions from the commissioners?
I think that's probably a suggestion that we hold this over until the July first opportunity in July. And I think the idea of making sure that everything is in order. And technically, I guess George is saying it would be a new application. Is that right, George?
Yes.
So that pretty much sums it up for me.
I have no questions.
Okay. Sounds good.
This is Rich. If I could, I think it would be framed as a form as a transfer of ownership, which technically in the city is a new application, but it would be joint with the existing owners, pushing it for the transfer.
Okay, thank you. Well, and I think, you know, when George and I spoke about this, I at the very least, this kind of came at the last hour, so we didn't have a chance to put it on the agenda, and I think you know, for one, from my personal perspective, I would look for consistency, you know, in terms of what we've done before. So this will give us a little bit of time to really make sure that we are on the right track here. And also understanding that we do have some time in terms of how soon your I want to say customer, but I'm looking for a different word. The person that you're representing, Mr. Hurley, for, you know, just to give him time to be able to get the bar open and everything. But we just want to make sure that everything, you know, we have all of our ducks in a row and everything is consistent, you know, with past practice. Okay. All right.
If I could ask Mr. Marvel, if this were to be the July 24th, I'm sorry, let me get this right, 12th, the July 26th city council meeting, would that be interfering with the business plan you outlined, that where there'd be some opening by August, you know, by the time the students come back in August?
No, I don't think that it would impact Mr. Hurley's intent at that point. So it would be the liquor commission on
July 13.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would work. And I know Taya and John are on the phone as well, so I think that would probably work with them. The question that I would have relative to the fines, would it be better as a good faith, both for Taya and John and Nick, as far as facilitating this transaction, if these taxes were paid prior to, or would it be fine if we submitted, subject to approval, that they would be paid that same day?
We'd suggest, since the entity exists that's applying, that they be paid prior to that time.
Okay.
Rich, I sent you an email from our finance people that indicated the amount that we believe is due and owing, subject to the provision of returns. If I could, I might ask Ms. Minifield, has Drifters been open this year?
We did open for part of May, yes.
So in that case, we'll need returns even when you weren't open, but we'll need something indicating, what was sold then. But the amount of back taxes, other than that, then I sent to you, Rich, this morning.
Okay. All right, is that it?
That's it. We'll get those paid. I appreciate the commission. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much. You take care.
Thank you.
Our next item on the agenda is item 5E, Mickey's Kitchen, and it's the presentation of the agreed order as requested by the legal department. So, George.
This involved a citation and complaint issued against the licensee for failure to pay taxes, and also allegations pertaining to jointly operating the business with a non-licensed entity. There was a general plea to the allegations. The licensee relinquished its license and ceased operation upon being served with the complaint. And as a resolution and settlement of this matter, they agreed to pay and have paid a fine in the amount of $1,000, allowing various credits and payments to be attributed to that fine. So we're at a fine of $1,000 as a general settlement of the complaint and relinquishment of the license.
So everything is paid up then? You don't owe
That's
anything?
correct.
Okay, awesome. Any questions from the commissioners?
No questions from me.
No question. In other words, George, the business is no longer in operation. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And there's nothing else that you need from us, George, right?
Nothing further.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I believe we do not have any old business or new business. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion. We adjourn the meeting.
Okay, okay, motion by Commissioner Jordan, second by Commissioner Meister. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
See you next time. Take care.
Thank you.